So you guys saw the Three Amigos video. And one of the things we were talking about, well, more like Clif, was the mystery coin, right? That looks like it's Tezos. It's filled a lot of the language, but he kept talking about this masking, and he said that in the email too, masking. And first I want to show you something. 3 videos from yesterday. Realist News, Three Amigos, 23,800 views so far. Not suitable for most advertisers. Review requested, because I requested a review. Second video, Alabamians outraged as civil asset forfeitures soar. Not suitable for most advertisers. Review requested, of course. Realist News, is the Fed getting cold feet about QE unwind? Not suitable for most advertisers. Review requested. So, let's see if an ad shows up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've been checking all day. And I haven't seen a single ad on this video. How about the next one? Same thing. No ad. Next one. No ad. These, by the way, were instantaneously flagged, or whatever you want to call it, not flagged, but set to this status. Is right at, like, again, immediately. I upload these and bang. Bang, bang, bang. So my question is, I wonder how many ads showed up, because look, this is just math. 4,000 views, 4,500 views, 13,000 views, 4,200, 4,000. There's another 13,000, 8,000, 11,500, 13,000, right? Where I'm going with this is it's just math. You know, the ads that play, I get a piece of that, right? 55% goes to me, like all YouTubers who do this, and 45% goes to YouTube. Now, you would think they want those ads playing as much as they can so they can earn some revenue. Just like I would. Yeah, I want more revenue. Who doesn't want more revenue? And when I do a Three Amigos video, because everybody wants to see them, Clif High, Bix, and myself, whatever, and I'll be honest, I think most people want to see Clif High. But I get the pleasure of being a part of it and hosting it on my channel, so I love it. Again, it's math. 23,000 views, my videos normally don't even get that. By the time this is done being viewed, the Three Amigos, it may have 50, 60 plus thousand views on it. Maybe higher. I had one I looked at. Matter of fact, look. Amigos. 74,000. This is not really a Three Amigos video. 62,000, 75,000, and 93,000. So just think of these numbers. Ads, advertiser revenue. This one, I clicked it, I realized it, and no ad showed up. Let me just do that one more time just to see. Oh, there's another one, Call of Duty. All I'm hoping is that, and I know you're not hoping, but that some ads were definitely playing on that video. All 3 of them, they were flagged immediately. I'm looking at myself. Boy, I look like, you ever seen that movie Powder? I am about as white with this lighting. Can we adjust that or what, Jason? A little darker, a little darker. Ooh, you're turning yellow. I think I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Gain? No, that's auto. Brightness? Oh. Turn the brightness down a little bit. How about that? All right. Sorry about that. I mainly want to say this, okay? I just had to share that with you because it's aggravating, and that's that. Clif High emailed. First of all, we said, hey, about 5:30 p.m. Friday night Eastern time, which is why I was eating in the video. I was freaking starving. It's dinner time for me. Those guys, it was only 2 o'clock for them. And my wife brought it out here, so I'm not going to let it sit here. Me and Bix are on. I'm like, where the hell is Clif? He's not even online. Hey, did you hear from him? No, I didn't. I said, well, he just emailed me at 5, it looks like. Let me reply. So Bix called him. He's like, oh, shoot, I forgot. Sorry, guys, I'll be right there. He came right on. He didn't exactly say what he was doing at the time, like why he forgot or whatever. And he emails us afterwards, last night after the video was already done, I already recorded and all that, and said, hey, you know, just so you know, the reason I emailed you guys, or the reason I didn't get on, my mind was elsewhere. I'm running some data on the Tezos thing, and I was completely focused on that. We're getting this masking in there, and that's what I want to talk to you about right now. This is me talking to you now. So Clif emails us, and I'm going to give you 2 possible outcomes for Tezos. Okay? One is good, and it's the same one we've been thinking about, that we thought originally, that this thing's going to skyrocket in 2 years and all that. But there's a second one. There's now 2 outcomes potential. And he might be leaning towards the second one. I'm not 100% sure, but it sounded like it. And the second one's not exactly good for us. So let's start with this. Tezos has not even created the coin yet, the token, right? They said we plan on releasing it in December. And it's, today as I'm doing this video is the 21st of October. And now there's this massive blow up with the top guy and this guy, and now lawyers are getting involved and this and that. And when the lawyers got involved, some things were, I'm just going to say it this way, were flagged, so to speak, for Clif High, his webbot, that said, wait a minute, this needs to be reanalyzed. There's these words coming in here means there may be something else to this, and it's not originally what the original outcome we thought might not be now. Now that the words lawyers are involved, this changes possibly how this is going to go. So he said that's what I was focusing on, like intensively, and that's why I forgot to get on the Skype call with you guys. Not that we don't care, we love Clif, but it was interesting that was the reason he just told us. So A is the original story. There's going to be this blowout, which has already happened. And the coins may come in December like they originally planned. If that's the case, we hope, you and I, and it should go this way, the coins tank. And then you and I load the boat as they tank. Okay? But part 2, or the second part of this option, I should say, now that the lawyer language is in there, Clif says this needs to, this could go a whole different way. And it's strictly because of this lawyer language. And he says what may happen here is that this gets dragged out for 2 years. There's that 2 years, right? No tokens are released. No tokens are even created. Or if they're created, they're not released. Something along those lines. In other words, the people who invested don't get any tokens for some reason or another, okay? And they're locked up in this legal battle. It drags on for 2 years. But by the time 2 years comes and everyone's essentially refunded, let's say ETH, not getting their tokens, they're refunded. ETH is so expensive, and he didn't give numbers, but I'm just going to say, for example, $1,500 ETH, $2,000 ETH. Because if ETH's going to $1,000 next year, according to his data, with the analysis that he got back, and it came back in the Brazilian currency, remember that? And he said on that conversion, which is weird, it didn't come back in any other currency but that one, so that's what we're going with. Assuming their dollar doesn't tank or something, goes crazy, it equates to, and I think it was around $1,200, $1,300, right? $1,300 US dollar equivalent. So I'm throwing that out there now because that's supposedly supposed to be for next year according to the data. Even if it's off by a little bit of time, it should be sometime next year. Okay? We're talking 2 years on this thing. Which means what? Is it possible? I'm just going to throw a number out there. Is it crazy to say $2,000 Ethereum? I don't think so. Not seeing how they've been going. Remember, Ethereum was $18 this year, January. Litecoin, $3 to $4 this year, January. Litecoin, $50-$60 right now. Ethereum, $300+. Right, so that's not absurd for me to say $2,000. However, everybody who got into this ICO, the Tezos, and again, I don't know the exact price Ethereum was at the time, because it had been as low as roughly $200 to $300, $350, whatever. So somewhere between $200 and $300 is what everybody paid as far as the price of Ethereum at the time to get into Tezos at that level. So whatever you put in, and this might also mean whatever the price of Bitcoin was, because I think you could use Bitcoin too, if I recall, or maybe was it just Bitcoin, or one or the other, or both. I don't remember because I didn't get into that Tezos. At any rate, the point is whatever either Bitcoin or Ethereum was at that moment when you guys were getting in, or whoever was getting into Tezos, it was at such and such price. And I don't know, because I think this was back in July, was it? Let's just take a peek. I think this was a July ICO. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm going to go right into Bitcoin, which is, $6,000 as I'm speaking. Look at the chart, and I want to see where this was in July. 2015, 2016, January 2017. Okay, let's look at that. There's July. So Bitcoin was approximately, and again, depending on what day, what week, whatever, was bouncing between from June 15th. We'll go from June, because maybe this ICO was in June. I just don't remember. June 15th, $2,200 Ethereum, Bitcoin. Into July 1st, $2,500. And then towards the end of July, around the middle part, actually July 16th, it dropped down to $1,900, $1,988. Then $1,908, it looks like. And then towards the end of July, it started creeping back up, $2,700, $2,800, okay? So I want you to just think of these numbers for right now. Ethereum, at this exact moment, 303. But again, we want to know July, June, and July. So let's take a look at that. June hit the all-time high, June 12th, 300. Well, I say all-time. I don't think it was the all-time. But yeah, actually it was $414. $414. All-time high, June 12th. Creeps down to 320, 330. Back up to 375. As we get into the end of June, it's down to 286. Down to 271, 251, 258. Actual low, 250, 260. I'm trying to, it looks like, 236 low on June 27th, okay? $236. And then as we get into July, you're talking 274. It's going down, 243, 241, 215. Actually jumps down to 180 something, 160 something. Remember, that's when I was telling you guys there's ICO after ICO after ICO and pretty big ones. And it crushed the price of Ethereum. I'm assuming maybe Tezos had something to do with this, with that massive $230-something million they pulled in. This is July 16th. $161 Ethereum. So let's just round off for now and say $200 Ethereum, okay? And whatever, $2,500 Bitcoin, I really don't know. Bitcoin at 25, even 3,000, has doubled today, 6,000. At $200 Ethereum, hasn't doubled the 400, but it's 50%, $300. What I'm saying is, and what Clif said essentially, is that this second thing he thinks might actually be more probable than the first scenario I gave you, which is the first one's a good scenario where this thing gets crushed later this year or whatever it is, and it's released, the token, the Tezos, and we all jump in as the thing's crashing, and then ride it up in 2 years. He thinks because the lawyer language has now triggered something that made him send that email, hey, this might be how this goes, actually. And that is, the lawyers, it gets put in, I don't know if they end up going to court or not, but anyways, it's held up. It's tied up for 2 years. Nobody gets any tokens. Nobody gets anything. ETH is not refunded. Nothing happens for 2 years. Then they finally come to an agreement. And as part of the agreement, refunds, whether it's refunds in Bitcoin, refunds in Ethereum, whatever it was, refunds are issued. But by that time, in 2 years, the price of Bitcoin is scary high, and the price of Ethereum is also scary high. 2,000, and I'm making these numbers up, by the way. $2,000 Ethereum. God only knows what Bitcoin could be. 20, 30, it's supposed to be 20,000 next year. $30,000, $40,000. Think about that number, right? Let's just say 40,000, because I know it sounds crazy, but look back at the charts. This isn't crazy. $30,000, $40,000 on something that was $2,500 roughly. Right? So you getting that refund back of physical, or not physical, but the actual, not the tokens, because the tokens won't exist, right? In other words, the whole program is just scrapped, I guess. Everyone gets refunds issued. But you're happy to get those refunds because one Bitcoin is now worth $30,000, $40,000. One freaking Ethereum is worth $2,000, that kind of a thing. Okay? That he thinks is more probable. So I could only say that a third scenario, and he didn't say this, but I'm going to give you a third scenario. I don't think you'll find it too shocking, is that they get their crap squared away, whatever happens in 2 years. Guys, we're going to issue the coins now. We're going to go forward. It can take a couple months, whatever. They're coming. And you all get your tokens you've been waiting 2 years for. And by that time, for whatever reason, based on the price of ETH, based on the price of Bitcoin, the tokens are extremely valuable because of that reason. And, hey, they're going to move forward with the project. Better news, tokens are going up higher, right? That's a third scenario. He did not give that to me. I'm just telling you that just as a possibility, it certainly could happen. That's not right. It's not insane for me to say that. But the first one is the one we all want. Clif High is putting, if you had tally marks, there'd be more tally marks in his second scenario simply because of the lawyer thing getting involved in that language now showing up. It triggered something that he said that, the masking, and there was this masking, and I just don't know, he kept saying that before. Now he sees the lawyer language. Guys, I think I know how this is going to go. Not 100% sure, but he thinks he knows how this is going to go. And he thinks it's scenario number 2. You all get refunded in a couple of years from now, but you're not real upset because the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum are so insanely high. That refund is welcome with open arms. Lying beside you. I'm not going to go open arms. Journey. Check it out, baby. So I wanted to just share that with you. It's an email he sent us. It's not secret, nothing. We're going to find out at least by December, right? It's almost November. We got one more month from November to December, but then of course we've got December. So let's just call it 2 months roughly to find out what the heck's going on with Tezos. Is it going to be what they said? They're going to release the tokens, and do they crash and then we all jump in? Believe me, that's numero uno on my hope list. Smoking some serious hope-ium on that one. All I can say is I'm glad I'm not going to have to wait. I was in Tezos and I had to wait 2 years to get my freaking cryptos. It's my cryptos and I need it now. I wonder if JG Wentworth's going to come out with a commercial in the future. It's my Ethereum and I need it now. Your Ethereum tied up in a structured settlement, with Tezos? Call JG Wentworth. I kill myself sometimes. Killing them softly. Take care.